Nematodes or roundworms are multicellular organisms which can be found in soil and water. While most of the species are beneficial for gardening, some can parasitize humans and cause serious complications. Hi, my name is Shez, and you are watching Die, 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 Parasite. Tonight, we are going to take a look at Strongyloides stercoralis, a parasite which can be found in the tropics as well as in temperate regions such as Brazil, Colombia, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines. The parasite can be transmitted through contact with soil or fecal containing the infective form. Let's have a look at one of the rare cases involving a 30-year-old organ recipient who received an infected organ from his twin brother.
Here, the cycle begins when the infective filariform larvae penetrates the skin on Stephen's bare feet. The filariform larvae burrows its way through the skin of its host, making its way through the smaller blood vessels and eventually enters the lungs. They then climb up the bronchial tubes and are swallowed back down into the gut. They molt twice in the small intestine and become adult female worms. The females then thread themselves in and out of the lining of the small intestine, where they lay eggs and hatch into rabidiform larvae. The rabidiform larvae can either be excreted in the stool, or molt twice and become infective filariform larvae, or develop into free-living adult male and female worms that produce eggs from which rabidiform larvae hatches. These rabidiform larvae can either develop into new generation of free-living adult worms or into infective filariform larvae, or they can also cause an auto-infection by penetrating the intestinal mucosa or perianal skin and follow the normal infective cycle. Because Stephen was a healthy individual, his symptoms only developed years later after he had an accident, causing his immune system to be compromised. This created an opportunity for the parasite to initiate an infection.
Please, after I die, help me donate my organ to my brother James.
Although the transplant was a success, what the doctors didn't know was that Stephen's kidney was infected with the filariform larvae. 10 days after receiving the transplant, James started to experience some discomfort and decided to pay a visit to the medical center. At this stage, the filariform larvae have reached his lungs and penetrated the alveolar spaces, traveled to his pharynx, and reached his small intestine. James explained to his doctor that he has been experiencing chills, dry cough, and abdominal pain, which are commonly associated with Strongyloides stercoralis infection. Based on James' symptoms, the doctor then proceeded to do a routine examination by conducting abdominal palpitation and checking his lung function. After the examination, the doctor asked James to provide a stool sample for additional testing.
Hi, I'm James. Now I will talk about the symptom. Normally, many people infected are usually asymptomatic at first. Those who do develop symptoms tend to have non-specific or generalized complaints. The symptoms include dermatitis, swelling, itching, and mild hemorrhage at sites where the skin has been penetrated. And then, when the parasite reaches the lungs, the chest will pain, burning, wheezing, and dry cough. And then the parasite inside the intestinal will cause the bleeding, burning, pain, tissue damage, sepsis, and ulcer. And besides that, the chronic diarrhea also can be symptom, and also kidney also have a problem.
The stool sample taken from James was then sent for analysis. The laboratory technician then carries out a microscopic examination. Microscopy is a very reliable method in confirming the presence of a parasite, especially in this case, where some of the larvae is excreted in the stool from the small intestine, can be clearly observed.
Diagnosis of strongyloidiasis can be done by the demonstration of larvae in the feces, sputum, or duodenal aspirates. There are two forms of larvae. The first one is rhabdiform larvae. This form of larvae has a short mouth and a bulbed esophagus, whereas for filariform larvae, it has a long and slender tail, and the tail is notched. It also has a short buccal cavity, but a long cylindrical esophagus. It can measure up to the size of 630 micrometer in length by 16 micrometer in width.
The stool can be examined using wet smells by several methods, be it directly, concentration using formalin ethyl acetate, or by culture in other places. Duodenal fluid can be examined using enterotest string or duodenal aspiration. Larvae may also be detected in the sputum of patients with disseminated strongyloidiasis. Besides that, antibody detection tests can be performed when the organism cannot be detected using the methods as mentioned previously. This test uses the antigens derived from Strongyloides stercoralis filariform larva for the highest sensitivity. Serological testing may also be done on patients that are monitored, patients which are immunocompromised, and it can be detected that the immunoglobulin G level decreases distinctively within 6 months after successful chemotherapy.
To confirm that this was indeed a parasitic infection, the sample was sent to a pathologist.
To understand the morphology of Strongyloides stercoralis, we must know that it has 3 different stages, which are adult worm, larvae, and eggs.
The egg of Strongyloides stercoralis sizes around 48 by 35 micrometers, slightly smaller than the hookworm egg. It has a thin shell and well-developed larvae. Rhabdidiform larvae sizes around 220 by 60 micrometer. The diagnostic characteristic is that it has a short buccal cavity and a prominent genital primordium. Filariform larvae is longer than rhabdidiform larvae, which is around 690 micrometer. It has a long esophagus and its tail is notched. The female adult is parthenogenetic, which means self-fertilized. It has a vulva and eggs in its uterus. The male adult is free-living and non-parasitic. It has two simple spicules and a gubernaculum.
A few days later, James returns to the clinic to obtain his test results. Unfortunately, the doctor explains to James that it is a parasitic infection caused by the parasite Strongyloides stercoralis. She prescribed him some medication to help him manage his condition.
Hi, I'm Tracy, James' doctor. So based on James' symptoms and diagnosis, he is diagnosed with strongyloidiasis. For James' case, since he is an immunocompromised patient, we will give ivermectin until his symptoms are resolved, or the larva is not detected for at least 2 weeks. So generally, for people who are infected with strongyloidiasis, our drug of choice is ivermectin. Ivermectin will inhibit the neurotransmission in nematode, and they also give favorable side effect as compared to another drug, albendazole. So for generally people, we give 200 mg per kg daily for 2 days. But if it is disseminated strongyloidiasis, the treatment by ivermectin will be extended to 5 to 7 days.
Unfortunately, James was too lazy to take water with his medication, which then caused him to choke and die. What a waste! He could have survived this ordeal.
Aww. Mashallah. Yep, yep.
Wearing shoes and practicing good hygiene, including proper handling of fecal material disposal, can prevent the transmission of the parasite. That concludes our show for tonight. I'll see you again next week, same time, same place, here on Die, Parasite.